and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Right, so we do have an updated agenda before us. Jean is out. She did let me know before I forget when we look at scheduling a working session. She's not available on the 20th and 25th. Otherwise, we have a closed session at 6:15 to discuss the purchase of land. So that's something that we will adjourn our business meeting for, or recess our business meeting, and then go into a closed session at 6:15. And then we'll reopen the public session to recap that. Starting with our activity reports, we had a budget and finance meeting last week, starting the annual budgeting process, took a look at what the departments are looking at for large purchases for the upcoming year, some discussions there. One of the things that coming out of that is the need for a new squad car, something that we've been talking with the chief about now for a while, and the fact that his current squad is almost literally limping along on a daily basis. So he's going to do some more research on trying to see if we can get some competitive quotes, but given the car market, we might be stuck. But Budget and Finance gave the tacit approval to move forward on that. So he's going to do some more homework and come back. Otherwise, we had our joint planning and city council meeting, which we were all at. And then Friday night, there was the Nature Energy presentation, which I think most of us were in attendance as well, except for Jean, who is in the North Country enjoying life. So turn it over to Neil.
We were at the joint planning council meeting and Friday night at Nature Energy presentation.
Right. Megan.
I had the park board. We discussed the kayak rentals. That's going really well. And we did get the DNR grant to go towards the shelter in Ampey Park. So that is awesome. I had the planning board meeting as well, and the Nature Energy meeting. And then I attended the citizens meeting about Nature Energy yesterday. And I think that's it.
All right. Oh,
I was at the joint planning and council meeting, and also at the high school auditorium on Friday night.
all right. Otherwise, it's getting into summer, so committees should slow down a little bit, except for Ron, who's on all of them. Going over to you, sir, for your department head report.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I've seen quite a bit of activity out at the beach. The fishing pier and the new swimming dock is getting quite a bit of use. Just a reminder to all the residents that the concert in the parks are being hosted every Thursday night through July here. The first one that we had was very well attended. Reservations are running very steady out there also, so any resident that wants can contact City Hall here, and they are available. Our lead and copper inventory grant, that is due by the 20th. It's a very simple grant. We plan to apply, and I will have that on the next council agenda for approval. City Hall repairs, we are going to be under construction in this council chambers the 17th, I believe, through the 28th. So the next council meeting very likely will be at the fire hall. So PFAS sampling, our second round of sampling has been done. We did get our first round of samples back. It is a quite lengthy report, about 55 pages to be exact, and I gave that to Bolton and Mink, and right now the results are a little bit, some of the trigger points have not yet been set by the pollution control and the EPA, so that's all yet to come. If you're up on First Street, you notice that there is, CentraCare is installing a new storm sewer as part of their phase 2, I believe it is, so that road likely will be shut down for probably the entire week. So that's all I have.
Okay, I saw the new fire pit is in. It looks phenomenal.
Yes,
Do we know if
thank you.
anyone's been using it at all yet?
Not yet. We still got the tape around it. We want to make sure the rules get posted up first before we open it up.
Okay. So the tape doesn't go all the way around. You can,
You can go on.
yeah.
Okay.
But
People seem like they've been pretty respectful of the tape, though. I think they're nervous about being the first ones to use it, so.
it does cause a little bit of trepidation.
Yeah.
I saw that it was there. The only other thing, and Kristen, I'm going to ask you, I know you're listening, With the meeting next time at the fire hall, are we going to be able to at least record or live stream? Sorry to make you come up here, but I would like to know before I forget.
So we should be able to record, but unfortunately, we won't have the equipment out there to live stream. I'll just have to remember to bring a separate camera. It's not gonna be the best quality, but, you know, we can at least get it recorded.
Okay. And then do we know when the new equipment, do we have an expected date yet for the new stuff to?
Unfortunately not. Tyler's been the one that's in contact with them. I think it moved out to July, so maybe we'll hear something soon, but again, I'm not sure.
Okay. Thanks, Kristen. All right, any questions then for Ron? Ron, I don't think I cut you off. That was the end, wasn't it?
That's it, thank you.
All right, so then we have our public open forum period. If there's anyone here who wishes to address the council on an issue currently before us or something else, you can do so at this time. We've dedicated up to 10 minutes for this forum, and the time is going to be evenly divided between those wishing to speak. We won't take any action on anything, but we may have questions, otherwise respond, but no vote or decision will be made. We can refer anything to staff or committee if there needs to be further evaluation. So is there anybody here for the open forum period?
I will speak.
Okay, if you could just go to the podium, please, Katie. Is there anybody else intending to, just so that I can keep a track on time? Otherwise, I'll just... Okay. Do we need a microphone over there?
Is that one on?
Jen, will that one reach?
It's fine. It's unless you need it.
Paul, could you?
Thank you. So I received an email about 9:30 at night from Tarek after the last planning and city meeting, and it mentioned that there was going to be a restriction of the right to speak for Neil. And I am here to speak against that because I feel that the First Amendment is very important. First Amendment provides that Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting its free exercise. It protects freedom of speech, the press, assembly, and the right to petition the government for redress of grievances. There are a lot of people that have different abilities in our community. Sometimes these are silent, different abilities. Sometimes there's medical issues, so there's seizures and things that you don't immediately know why those kinds of things are happening. So I want to request that the council be respectful of people who may have different abilities, and to make sure that they are allowed to speak and have that moment to talk about what they feel about. I don't know if it was last year or the year before, there was a planning committee meeting, and Neil and I were going back and forth about chickens, and he used his hand to take a slicing motion across his neck with one finger, and everybody looked at him, and he said, "That's all good. That's all that chickens are good for." That is inappropriate. I didn't ask for an apology. I'm an adult, no big deal. I'm letting everyone know here so that it is on record, because typically you can't see the entire room when people are speaking. And so I would like to request that Neil is, and anybody else that is in the room, fully visible in the event that there is something that's inappropriate. I don't think he should be silenced, and I'm asking you not to silence him. I would like a public apology from Paul. If it's not a public apology from Paul Thielen, I would request that he makes an apology to my child who's 13. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Right. No, council's going to be discussing similar things a little bit later. Don't know if anyone wants to say anything now. Otherwise-
I just had a quick question. So did we, because I believe that the communication regarding Neil or anyone else, I believe that it was censured, not censored, like we discussed yesterday.
I think I said silenced.
Did it say silenced? Okay,
said
because there was a discussion about that, because I just want to, obviously there are, you know, silencing someone is, I just wanted to make that clear because I think censured was what I had heard used, which is of course not the same as censored. Thank you.
Just taking the right away from somebody to speak isn't appropriate.
All right, so moving on then, anybody else for the public forum? Okay. So we have about 4 minutes left.
Just to take off on what she said, it is important, I think, for the council to have visibility when you do the videotape of all the people that are up there. So oftentimes, the people on the wings are not in the frame. So I think that that's extremely important. And there was one other thing. Oh, and to her point about respecting all the different people within our community, even those who bring up the meteors. So when I walked in tonight, obviously there was a conversation going on. So, so even relative to that, we have to respect those people. And he had every right to be up there and to speak, and we don't need to make fun of people.
Right. Anybody else in for the open forum? Seeing no one, I'll close that. Going on then to the approval of our consent agenda includes the minutes on page 1 from the planning board, along with the vouchers from our update, page 1 of that, totaling $642,981.45. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Motion by Hertzberg, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Thielen. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? None. Motion carries. Great. I'm going to move on to B because we can't talk about A in 3 minutes. We've got a closed session at 6:15, so we'll come back to that after the closed session. But we do have setting a special city council working session, page 4 of our agenda. Would note, like I said, Jean is out, but she did let me know she's not available on the 20th and the 25th, but otherwise she was available for dates. They're all at 6 p.m. I don't think I have anything else going on.
I'm open for anything.
Okay. Same here. I would suggest we just maybe go for, let's do I think either the first, second, or third would be best. We have the open house on the street project on the 31st, and then we could add in discussion of any feedback that we get as an agenda item for the working session. So if we do the first, second, or third, and we can talk about the things that we have on here, plus any feedback from the street project. And I realize, Ron, that probably means that you're going to want to be there. Any date work better for you?
The 25th and 26th I could not make.
Okay, what about the first, second, or third?
That'd be fine.
Okay. Well, how about we do Wednesday the 2nd, 6 p.m.?
Sounds good.
Anybody want to make that motion?
So moved.
Motion by Brick to set a special city council working session for Wednesday, August 2nd at 6 p.m. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Hertzberg. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carries. All right. It is 6:15. We are noted for a closed session. Just get to that page on our agenda. Okay, Jen, can you help me? Because apparently I'm struggling. Where is that on our agenda?
It's on the cover page, you'll be meeting in closed session, discussing offer on the property.
Okay, but we don't have an action sheet on it?
You have the closed documents.
Thank you. They got buried underneath the checks I was signing. All right, so then at this point, I would entertain a motion to move into closed session to discuss an offer on real property, lots 8 and 9, Block 2, Heatherwood, Plat 3.
So moved.
Motion by Thielen, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor of moving into closed session to discuss the offer on real property indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None? Okay. So at this point, the council will go into closed session to discuss the offer on real property. I would ask those not involved in that sale to step out of the council chamber. We'll shut the door. We will open back up after this provision. Yes, Jen, if you could stay, that'd be great. And as soon as we're done, we'll open it back up.